Alright, so our brave heroes next reach Aridia. Like I said, since we didn't visit this location in the movie, that means it's recreated one-to-one, just with, story justification for it.
Look at them, confident and in their prime. Also, Skidd McMarxx is
McMarxx.
a lot more.
Yeah, look.
He's a lot more. Yeah.
I noticed that in the cutscene from the previous part. Anyway, new weapon, the proton drum, new stuff from this game. It's okay, but not particularly my favorite. It's good for crowd control for smaller enemies because, as you'll be able to see, it tosses on the ground a ball of energy that emits shockwaves, which repel and damage enemies, when you come in contact with it. So it's good for crowd control with smaller enemies like the sand sharks in this game, in this particular level. I don't think this weapon returned in Rift Apart, I'll have to check.
Oh, you mentioned TJ Fixman recently, haven't we? Well, have we mentioned what he did after this?
Yes, the Netflix movie Delivery, I forgot what he did.
It's called Carry On.
Well, we did mention it, don't worry. Anyway, let's get to Skidd.
Can't believe it, Skidd McMarxx.
This particular cutscene showcases the problem with the lack of animations in these interactions.
Also, Skidd's eyebrows look like he burned them off partially and they're growing back.
Welcome to next gen facial rendering, Jova. 9 times out of 10, beards and facial hair were rendered by every single straw, and as a result they look fucked up.
I mean, some obviously look better than others. Like, hey, Ratchet's fur looks
That's because
cool,
Ratchet, instead of having every single fur, every single hair of his fur being rendered, it's more of a case where an area of his face is just colored like that. Instead, for Skidd, it's just a more plastic-like model with the hair on it.
Like, the thing is, hair could be done well, but Skidd's eyebrows look like he burned them and, like, they're just almost finished growing back, essentially. Like, they're weirdly patched, they're weirdly patched like they're supposed to resemble a reptilian texture, except it's hair, so that doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, time also for me to actually use again the flamethrower weapon. It was also present in the original, but in here it's a bit more bulky, but as a result more effective, as you can imagine.
Some things never change. Although, I don't think you can do the pissing motion like in the original game.
I don't remember. Well, that was more in the second game with the liquid nitrogen. And yes, they also did they did kept most of the gold bolt locations the same, so I know this by memory.
So for all intents and purposes, sections like these are basically an HD version of the original game.
Pretty much, a straight up remake, which again, like I said, makes this version of your Imagining the better by default, because it actually is more close to the original game just by taking its own spin.
But remember, Tio, it's technically a sequel to the movies. Like, okay, you know what? This is funny. Like, okay, let's imagine the movie and this had been a success. Would they have basically just done sellout movie after sellout movie where basically each game would have had to have been a tie-in to
Probably.
Each movie?
Probably. That's my guess. Again, remember, this was an idea from Sean Layden, and he was also the one that pushed for the Medieval remake on the PS4. But I get the idea, while he's still working at Sony and Sony Control, he wanted to push the idea of reproposing the older titles from the original PlayStation in an HD format, taking advantage of the studios that they had, as a result. But before things could continue, he was on his way out, and Jimbo was on his way in.
So basically, Sean Layden, who, yeah, to his credit, I think he's also the main reason we got the Insane trilogy, so he was a good man, good head on his shoulders, he came up with great ideas.
Much like all the other Sony execs, he was not exempt from, making stupid decisions, but it's more of a testament of the fact that things got worse after he left.
Yeah, I mean, I won't deny he did do a lot of iffy stuff with Sony. He was, if I recall correctly, he was kind of part of the motion where Sony were moving towards more being real instead of being childish. I think maybe he later grew to regret that, though.
I think,
Hence, you
I
know,
think
some
Andrew
of the
Howell
returns
was
we
more
got.
on that front. Also, yeah, Ratchet, show some fucking emotions. Jesus.
Same to Skids. Like, his face does not really change much expression.
I mean, it works for Clank because he's a robot and everything. The entire stick is that he doesn't have much emotion. But the other characters, you know, should be a bit more animated. I get it, a 10-month, you know, crunch up and everything, but holy shit.
You know, this is kind of sadly one issue that I had even with the Insane trilogy. It's like, yes, on first glance, it looks cool that all these characters are rendered in HD. However, the more you analyze these remakes, especially when they themselves kind of become a bit dated, the more you realize, there's not much to this aside from the fact that they're in HD, since sometimes they even have less expression than the originals did. This is probably due to the fact that older PlayStation games had, obviously, less HD fidelity, so they had to make the characters all the more expressive to show the wonders of what the technology could do.
For the Spyro games, it looks like two drum plates, you know, mashing together in horizontal.
Now, mind you, I'm not saying it can't be done well, because, hey, I honestly feel like we had a great thing going with Crash Bandicoot Nitro Fueled, the
CTR.
remake of Crash Team Racing, yeah. Like, that one had the looks from the HD trilogy, but with the expressive emotions that were missing from the original games, essentially. So it can be done well. And I will say this, that I can see why most would probably consider the HD version of Spyro to be the definitive one, essentially. I'd say the Spyro trilogy at least had mostly a good thing going for it. It does lose some expressiveness and also kind of chickened out on some of the more crass humor, essentially, but I digress. I feel like it had the right idea going, and hey, you know, we got Tom Kenny for all 3 games now instead of, God, whoever was playing Spyro with a cold that first game.
I'll have a look real quick.
Have a look. Anyway, just to mention, since we already have the swing shot, we can progress through these
Carlos
sections.
Alazraki.
We talked about him when we did the Book of Life. Anyway, since you already have the swing shot, you can progress through this section already instead of having to wait for backtracking. Again, just to, you know, just to showcase the fact that the game is not as big as the original, unfortunately. But again, I like the fact that they integrated the fact that the building that in the original was just a thing that was present on Aridia. Instead, it's supposed to be something that Skidd McMarxx was actually constructing for, you know, esports stuff. And the reason why the local robots are attacking you is because, well, Ratchet is still breaking and entering, unfortunately.
Alas. Wonder, did they get back Skids' original voice actor for this, or is this a different?
I think that's still just Arnell.
Let me just check. Ratchet, I think he was trying to tell you something there.
Nah. Alright, just like in the original, you get the Hydro Displacer.
Designed by Dr. Nefarious, this ingenious device promised to move water from one place to the other.
Yep, you're right, that was Jess Harnell.
It's because also the character will come back in Rift Apart and they kept him to voice that.
Makes sense. Jess Harnell seems to be definitely a guy that studios aren't afraid to hire.
There you go. Our gold bolt.
I still kind of wish that, you know, the Captain Quarks did like lines for whenever
yeah, you
Ratchet
fucked up,
dies or anything.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately, Ratchet and Clank drowned. Wait, no, they didn't. Sorry.
That's not what happened.
They drowned!
Would find the Hydro Displacer invaluable in navigating the sewers of the galaxy.
We should search the area for Skidd's agent. He may need our assistance.
Intruder intrusion detected in Sector 4. Dispatching Constructobots.
I know that they probably did not do that because they had time constraint, but I kind of wish that they actually added location-based damage for me to exploit on these robots and the propane tank in the back.
Cork, did they die or not? You can't seem to make up your mind.
Sadly, they did die, but they survived.
Yeah, it's like back in the Ice Age movie. Did you die? Sadly, yes, but I lived.
Attention, future consumers.
I have not seen that movie yet, but people seem to have really come around on Buck being like unequivocally the best thing from that movie.
Okay, for Ice Age 3, yes, me and Deji saw those recently. He returns for Ice Age 5 and he might as well be a completely different character because he changed all of his personality. And when it came to the Adventures of Buckwild, he's more definitely in character, but the story of Bat Special itself is so meh that it doesn't particularly matter. I would say that Simon Pegg, at the very least, is having fun with the role, but considering, you know, the recent stuff he was casting to that, it's more like, yeah, I guess.
It's like, hey, work is work, and I'm guessing Simon Pegg hasn't been getting much work lately.
No, he has, just I argue not in the right places.
What, is it stuff where his character survived?
No, I'll tell you later.
But, yeah, no, it was weird that we legit got a whole spin-off movie to Buckwild ages after Ice Age 3.
It was basically Disney making a test to have the Fox animation that wasn't Blue Sky Studios to see if they could actually handle, you know, another proper theatrical release, and second to see if there was that much interest in the franchise, especially because outside of Simon Pegg for Buck, if I recall correctly, almost all the other returning characters like Sid, the Man and everything are recast. They will get back the original VAs for the upcoming 6th movie, but again, for the Adventures of Buckwild, it was just another test that they were having to see if the franchise, you know, could still work. Now, like I said, the plot of Adventures of Buckwild is just very meh, so, you know, the lower reception is for that and for a good reason. The animation, even if it's low budgeted, is fine for the most part, but again, it's the plot, the thing that kind of breaks it.
Speaking of Ice Age 5, though, I have never seen a movie that got so much hate out the gate for what people thought it would be, only for it to, in the first few minutes, go, actually, nah, that's just gonna be Scrat's thing. The whole aliens in outer space thing. It's technically a factor, but it's not what the main characters deal with.
It's just a Scrat plot. I don't know why people got the idea, considering in every single game, his side plot is the one that goes off the rails while the others remain on a different way. So, I don't know.
To be fair, I think that's because the advertising definitely focused way too much on the aliens thing that people were kind of led to believe that that was going to be the main plot. In which case, I ask Blue Sky Studios,
R.I.P.
why? Yes.
Because they were developing around the same time Spies in Disguise, and that movie, I argue, is particularly bad. So they were probably having a bit of a crisis, unless the guy who made the Ferdinand was involved. Anyway, we're here to rescue the manager of Skidd, like in the original. In the original, you needed, if I recall correctly, to present him with the award that you win at the hoverboard racing. If I recall correctly, in here you don't have to.
You must be the two heroes who saved my client, huh? Don't tell me. Socket and Clink.
Ratchet and Clank.
Right, beautiful.
Socket and Clink.
I like the sound of it. Real marketing potential.
Have you got hearing problems?
My client.
No, get it? We're not worth his time. Yet.
I'd go meet up with him, but this place is crawling with sand sharks.
And if you already rescued Skidd, Clank will chime in with this.
Also, this guy's eyebrows actually look fine, so I'm wondering if the eyebrows with Skidd was a design choice?
No idea. Alright, after you rescue both, you return to where you did save Skidd.
Yeah, did this game have a different name in Japan, actually?
Go on, go have a look.
I'll have a look.
Ratchet and Clank, the new generation.
Hospital. Skid, come on. You've been through worse.
It's
What
just
are you gonna do
called
about your
Ratchet and
sponsors?
Clank the game.
Wow. I
Did
guess
they
it's,
actually
It's
include
based
the
off the
game?
movie.
yeah, because it
title?
is based on the movie.
What about you,
Ratchet.
Eh,
Yeah, there
I
you
guess
go.
I'm not too surprised. Japan does sometimes go for the extra blunt titles like
Hey,
that.
another Holobot. Let's check it out.
It's that time again. The annual Blackwater City hoverboard competition.
Oh boy, hoverboarding's back.
Remember, that was I think the original, so we're bringing that back.
Then blast on over to Rilgar and
Right
experience
there,
the
there you go.
pulse-pounding thrill of doing Mach 3 on a rocket-powered piece of plastic. How exciting is the race? Just listen to some of our previous
This
champions.
race is so exciting that you can get the PS Move to add for the true immersion of it.
I probably won't make that one. I can't feel my toes.
Oh dear.
Hey.
We're offering cash prizes and holo cards.
How come the game based on the movie is better human than the movie?
Because Insomniac knows what to do and probably allowed the TJ Biggsman a bit more leeway.
Off
Hi.
they go.
Actually, we won't because Skidd is not present at all in the rest of the game, which, to be fair, was I think also in the original.
I'm sure we'll see you for the sequel.
Well, no, it wasn't in the
Ratchet,
sequel
we have
either.
enough. Ratchet,
He was in
we have
Ratchet
enough
3,
time.
actually.
Yeah, not in 2. Sorry,
I
Liz,
don't
what
think we
you-
have enough time for skateboarding.
Okay, going off of how the movie handled things, though, I bet you that the second installment in this new continuity probably would have cribbed more from 3 than 2, since 2 kind of requires Quark to be a villain, and remember, the movies suggested that he
They
was
probably
on
would instead
adverse
rework
probation,
the
I believe.
prototype to be something that Nefarious was planning, I guess. Anyway, we can technically go to Rilgar right now, but instead we're gonna follow what roughly the plot of the original game did, and we'll go instead to Care 1, not to Metropolis, but again to quote-unquote Aleero City. So see you for that.
See ya.
See ya.